Hi, I'm Brooke. Welcome to my channel. Today, let's talk about leveling up. Let's talk about the fact that everything is already here and now. All you have to do is shift your perspective, and opportunities will open up. You'll have new experiences. And I'm going to show you a physical demonstration of something that is something where the object itself, the thing itself, was the same. And then I saw it different, and then everything changed. And I think it's going to be it's a good visual because it's like, whoa, you can see how much more was always possible, but I didn't see it because I was stuck in a lot of bias and prejudice and mindset about a certain subject. And when I finally started to open up and let myself be a little bit more free, then things changed and it was amazing. And so if you're feeling stuck, stick around because you're going to get something out of this. So, first, I'm going to tell you a bit about me. I'm a fine art photographer. This is some of my art behind me. I'm in my gallery in Manhattan Beach, California. And today's story has to do with my art and photography and breaking out of the old school mindset. My old school mindset, not just everybody else's. But I'm guilty. I was guilty of being in an old school mindset and feeling judged and judging others. And then I changed, I opened up, and everything changed. And now I'm doing something really fun. So if you want to check out my art, I'm going to put a link in the description. And so now let's get on with the story. So you may or may not know, all of my current artwork is created on an iPhone. And this is something I've been doing for about 10 years. People come into my gallery and often they'll ask what kind of camera I use, and I say my phone, and they're just shocked. It's hard to see how big these pieces are. They're like a little over 3 feet, and I have ones that are like 5 feet. I have huge ones. I'm going to show you. One of the things I'm going to show you is one of the big pieces. Um, and people are really surprised. And recently, so a lot of times photographers ask, like, how are you even doing this? And it's funny when you're the one doing something, you're just kind of doing it and you're not like really reflecting. And so I decided, because a lot of photographers ask, um, I put together like a guide on what it is that I do so that they can do it too. I'm going to put a link to that guide if you're interested in iPhone photography or smartphone. You could do it with any phone. If you're interested in creating prints, I'm going to put a link to the guide. But when I sat down to write the guide, I really reflected on my journey and I was like, huh, you know, I've come really far. And so what I'm going to show you is like the first sizes and then like where it's gone to. And so here, I'll just start showing you. So this is the original, this is the first sizes that I offered were like this. So I still offer this size. It's called my mini print. Back in the days, it was my only print. But now they're my mini prints. I love it's so cute. Like sometimes you just want like a little piece or like a few small ones. Um, it's super fun and it's a good way for someone that wants to collect to get a collection started because everything I do is signed and numbered and extremely limited. Like I only make very few of each piece, even the small ones, I only make 12 at the small size, and the bigger sizes I only make three. So, like true fine art, I think should be really limited. Um, well, I guess I'm still a little prejudiced. That is my preference. We're not going to call it a prejudice. It's my preference to say that there's only three of this size and that's it. And I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, that's a side. I'm off on a side note. But I love the mini print size. But in the beginning, this was my only size. So when I first learned photography, there was only film. I developed my film in a dark room. That was it. And I didn't really go into photography. I did a lot of other things. Eventually, I did social media management when that first started. I had had a business where I used it then. people started to pay me to do their social. And so I started a whole like consulting business around that. And eventually I created photographic content when Instagram became a big deal. And eventually I went from using like a fancy DSLR camera to my phone because if I was going to create pictures for Instagram, they were just going to end up in the phone. So I got really good at that kind of photography, but not really thinking of it in that like as an art form. But people started to ask to buy prints of pictures that I had taken with my phone. So I was like, let me see about that. So I went to a photo lab. I learned, about printing digital, and I showed them my files, and they were like, "Yeah, I mean, it's a phone, blah blah blah. Like this is as big as it's gonna get, right?" And I believe them. They were like the experts, right? But people kept asking to buy bigger pieces, and I am an entrepreneur, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna figure this out. So over time, I figured it out. Things got bigger and bigger. But what happened also, the phones got better. The phone camera got better. And so a lot of the bigger pieces come from newer phones. But then a few years back, someone saw one of these small ones and not this picture of a jellyfish in a small size. And it was from an old phone. And I had only ever offered it in the small size, but this person wanted it big. And I thought, I'd always ever said no to like blowing up the old phone stuff really big because I thought it wouldn't look good because I kind of had that like original idea in my head. But this one I thought it would look really cool. So I was like, let me see, since I have this buyer, I told them, I'm going to test some things out because, I don't want to offer something that I don't think is going to look right. And I was like, sometimes I'll just make something small because I like it, even though I know it will blow up big, but I think it belongs in a small size and vice versa. Like if I like it big and not small, but, if I like it in all sizes, I'll offer it in different sizes, whatever. So this one I thought it's gonna look good, but I don't know, right? It's such an old phone. And so I did some editing and some more editing and I made some test strips and like I realized with enough editing, it's gonna look good. So I did it. And that's what I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the difference. So the file itself didn't change. Pictures from about 10 years ago. I think it's probably like I looked up the years. I think it's an iPhone 6 that it came out of based on like the year I shot the picture. And um, so the file itself didn't change. My perception was 10 inches by 10 inches until this, opportunity came. And then I I figured it out. So that everything was already there. There wasn't some new way of blowing things up. I use my same methods that I use for everything. I've always done the same thing. Nothing else changed except my perception. Okay, so I'm going to show you like the proof, the sample piece. Okay, on. Ta-da! Look at that big boy, huh? This came out of an iPhone 6. So this, to give you perspective, this is the size that I thought, like, that's it. And then this is what I created once I changed my mindset. Look at the difference between those two. That's a big difference, you guys. Look, it's so big it can stand up on its own. So I feel like, so for me, that was when I went to sit down and write my guide for people. I realized that it's so much about mindset. Like I wrote out all the technical stuff that I do, but I don't do anything like that. I mean, I do have like tricks, things that I do. And I talked about that piece too, because that one really took an extreme amount of editing that I've never done before or since. But what's really important is how you see things. And like something like photography. So it's, but I think this is true for everything. This is like every industry. There gets to be like industry norms and standards and blah, 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 blah. And then everybody follows them and then they like make fun of someone who does something different. But meanwhile, the one that does something different is the one then that ends up, raising the bar. I don't know why, as humans, we go through these stupid cycles. We know this is how it works, that you get comfortable and then something levels up. Anyway, so, my mindset was like, well, film and this and that, and these type of cameras are better than these, blah, 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 blah. And then little by little, I opened up. I opened up to like my inner artist, my inner creativity, and expanded, expanded. And I was so hard on myself in the beginning. Oh my God. I was like, beat myself up on like, I don't know, these aren't good enough. Um, which is absurd. Like I'm looking at this. This is also an old picture. And what do you mean? It's like amazing. But I used to look at something like this and be like I would look so close, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like sharp enough. It's really sharp. It's perfect. Someone looks at that and then it evokes a feeling. And that's why people buy anything, really. There's a feeling. But within photography, there's very much a fixation on the camera. That's, that's it. That's people are fixated. And I always think it's fun. Now I think it's really funny. I mean, obviously I was fixated too. But then I started to sell prints and then I got a little bit looser, a little bit calmer, a little bit more expanded, little by little by little by little, until I blew up that big one and I was like, shit, I could do anything. It's like that was like a real confidence booster. But it's also interesting, and this is really important. Whatever it is you're doing, this really isn't about photography. This is about this applies to everything. Before that, right before that, I started to feel good about myself. I would say for the first time ever, I started to feel like I loved myself, that I had something to offer. I really opened up. There was like a few days, like right before that, where I really felt into feelings that I never had before about myself. And then the opportunity came, and then that really shot me into another level with my work. And now I feel like so good, so confident, and it definitely all ties in. So when you make that shift, it's like first the shift came within with feeling better about myself. Then this opportunity came that I actually said yes to. Because other people had asked for big prints out of old pictures, and I would say no. And I wouldn't even try, I wouldn't even like think that it wouldn't even consider it. And this was the first time where I really considered it and really did something about it. And then I really went for it. And the other thing I want to say, like what's interesting too about photography and cameras, and like a camera is just a tool, right? It's the person, it's the creativity that channels through the person. And I think what's interesting about photography as opposed to, let's say, painting, nobody ever, at least I've never experienced it. Like, I've never heard of someone walking into a gallery with a bunch of paintings and asking, like, what kind of brushes did the painter use? Right? Because the assumption is that the painter is doing the work is and the brushes, the paints, etc. are the tools. And the painter is like the master of the tool. The tools are just assisting the vision. And the same is true about the camera, but it's mechanical or has some mechanical, I mean, there's different cameras and different things that you can do, but there's this idea that it's like a machine and it's doing the work. And so this is not true. That's just, you can give the best camera in the world, the most expensive, fancy camera, whatever, to someone that doesn't have a feeling for photography or for composition, for color, for any of the things that make a good photograph. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it was a great camera. And what's a great camera? To me, the phone is the best camera because it's always with me and I can be spontaneous. I hate planning for things. So if you have a big DSLR camera, you can plan, bring it with you, carry it around, protect it. I mean, there's like there's a lot to do with it. And then, there's a lot of settings and things to deal with. I like the spontaneity. So for me, that's the best camera. And I learned how to work with it because I loved it, because it helps me, it's my assistant in bringing through this expression. And all the cameras are great, don't get me wrong. Like whatever camera anyone's using, it's perfect. If it's perfect for you, it's perfect for you. Some photographers love setting up a whole shot and lighting and they don't want to do anything spontaneous. And that's beautiful and amazing, right? It's all amazing. But it's that person's vision that's coming to life in their way, and the all the equipment is just assisting them. So I feel like this is an important sort of metaphor for a lot of things that go on in life. Everything is your assistant in your world. Every physical, inanimate object, and every person too. Like, I'm, we've talked about this before. I've talked about this. You guys have commented. Um, like when you go to the doctor, they're there to facilitate, give you some information, like based on what they know, right? Based on what they know, they'll tell you this and this. But again, people are always coming up with new ideas. There's always advancements. So the doctor is your assistant. It's giving you information, or she is giving you information. They are giving you information. And it's up to you to sit back and go, what am I going to do with this information? Take it, leave it, think about it, get another opinion, whatever. It's this applies to everything. And it applies, let's say, to something like ChatGPT. I mean, any type of AI, like people are treating AI like it's God. It doesn't have it doesn't have more than you have. You have access to everything that's important to you. You can ask it questions, or it might help you arrange your thoughts in a certain way, but it's not like you can ask it a different question and it will give you a different answer about the same topic. So it's just like any other tool. It's not in place of you. It's not more powerful than you. It's not smarter than you. It's not better than you. It's not doing the work for you. You're the one giving it the prompt. It just sits there until you prompt it. Someone has to prompt it, right? So it's still your assistant. I mean, yeah, I can pull a bunch of information maybe faster than you can. Maybe people can advance to moving through information faster. I mean, the more that I become relaxed, meditate, and quiet in my own mind, the more answers drop in very quickly that didn't used to be like that. The more I can make decisions faster, the more I have access. Like when I get in the zone and take a picture, these guys, this happened so quick. It's hard to see, but it's like two surfers, one is going this way, one is going that way. And in real life, it looked like they were going to hit each other. I don't even know. I got the phone out so quickly. It was all in this flash moment, but I tuned that part of my brain to like see a shot, right? I could see it coming. I could see like there's this guy that blows these huge bubbles, and I have like an amazing picture of someone like reaching up, a kid like reaching for the bubble. And I shot it a split second before that kid popped the bubble. So there's a certain amount of like, I'm in tune with this particular aspect of life, right? And whatever it is that you're interested in, you can become so in tune that you are there for that split second of information and let it come through. So my goal is always to empower everybody, myself included, and remind us all that we are these powerful, unique, wonderful beings, and we all are connected, and this information is all flowing to us. And not to give your power away to a machine, to an idea. For a while, I gave my power away to the idea that like the phone camera was not like a real camera. That's bullshit. It is a real camera. And in school, I took picture. You could take a picture with a cardboard box and a piece of photo paper. Like this is a real camera, you know. But but the point is, I gave power away to these ideas of like this or that's not good enough, or whatever, or this is about the machine, it's not about me. And it took me a lot of years to untangle a lot of those stories. And so hopefully this helped you untangle some, whatever it is in your industry, whatever areas of life that you're focused on. You can untangle from whatever the collective is saying. You can do things differently, even if people don't get it. I mean, in the beginning, people, if I would tell them I took pictures with my phone before they would see the pictures, right away they would be like, oh. And then I learned to show my work first. And then when I would tell someone, they'd be like, oh my God, that's also a thing that it's the same thing. That's the same piece of information. And if I, like years ago when I first started to show my work, if I would say first with the phone, they would like immediately wouldn't even want to see the picture, right? But if I just like the first solo art show that I did, I just put out the pictures. I didn't say anything about camera, and people started to ask like in that show, the opening night, and I said, "Oh, I took these on my phone," and people were just floored. I remember I had like a crowd around me all of a sudden, and people were like, "What? Tell us more." And like and it's like went from being so judged for it to like praised for it. And again, same piece of information. How I took the picture didn't change, but they saw it first, they liked it, and then it became a different meaning. And that's all life is. Doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter whatever business you're working in, or maybe you're a stay-at-home parent, whatever it is, everything has like a consciousness around it, and you get to do it your way, and you get to show up and love it and walk the walk, and the people that are into it will be into it, and the people that aren't won't. You can go from 10 inches to 4 feet with the same file that you couldn't see around before, and you can do it all. So hopefully this was inspiring. Please share any stories, like maybe whatever it is you're working on. Have you changed your perspective at all? Have you gone through something similar where you thought things were only this way and then all of a sudden something shifted? I would love to hear it. And I will see you in the next video.